Happy Monday. No, a happy Monday. Happy Saturday. Listen, it is a beautiful, beautiful day outside today. And I'm here because April is Financial Mastery Month. I'm renaming it. It was financial literacy, but it's about financial mastery. So I'm on here live today and I'm full because I just spent the day with some amazing women in the financial industry. And we spent the morning educating 50 plus women in the local Maryland area on their finances, how to level up, showing them how they can take advantage of opportunity during these changing, rapidly changing times. And so it was just a day that allowed us to really pour into women who may be stuck, hurt, or unsure what to do, which way to go. And so I'm excited to be able to have that kind of impact and follow my purpose in that way. So I love, love, love being able to pour into women. And so that's why I'm coming to you live each day. And I'm glad that many of you are able to join me live. And if you're live, just give me a chat and give me a message in the chat, say hello, say goodbye. If you watch the replay, share it. Share, share, share. I want to be going live pretty consistently the next month or so because it is about financial mastery. I want to share some things with you today that we discussed because at the end of it all, we all have to master our finances, whether we're good at math, we feel like we're bad at math, or the algebra classes had you scared to death, but you have to learn about your money. You have to master your money because right now we're living in time and we're seeing it real time on the news, in the community. We're hearing it from our friends. There's going to be a huge wealth transfer. Don't get mistaken by all the fear that they're pushing out to us, all the fear messages, all the things that are scary, all the things that people are hurting from. So I'm not saying that they're not real, but there is a huge wealth transfer about to occur. And if you're in a position to take advantage of it, if you're in a position to get in place, then you can be a part of that wealth transfer on the wealthy side and not the side that won't be wealthy. So the truth is, a lot of it is not about how much money we make. It's how much money we are able to keep and grow and multiply. And so that's why we're out here. That's why I'm out here showing you how to master your money, master your mindset so that you can take advantage of those things. So many of you have attended workshops with me. That's probably how you ended up in my following, or you've been to events. And if you did not take action during that time, for whatever the reason, whatever story you told yourself that said you weren't ready, or my favorite is they wanted to get themselves together before they came to a financial person. It's time to get here, right? And let me tell you how it sounds when I hear that from people. It sounds like, hey, Dawn, love you too. It sounds like I'm going to lose all the weight. I'm going to do all the working out and I'm going to build all this muscle before I hire a personal trainer. That's what I hear. And when you hear that example, you think, oh, that doesn't make any sense. I'm going to lose all this weight before I go and join a weight watching program. I'm going to do my hair before I go to the hair salon. That's how it sounds to me. It's my job to help you get together. So stop doing my job and come let me help you move to the place where you need to be. So if you don't know me, I'll reintroduce myself. It's your girl, Saran. I work with high income, high net worth women to go from a place of chaos with their finances, can't handle any obstacle sent is the way I define chaos, can't handle any obstacle sent, to a place of calm, using the financial calm framework that I put together that allows you to put together some control in your finances, right? Which usually means some control in your mindset, an abundance creation plan so that you can feel and live in abundance, so that you can live, as the song goes, the champagne life. You can find yourself operating on your softer side. As women, we tend to have to be a lot more aggressive because of our careers and the roles that we play. But putting yourself in a place where you can operate in your softness, right? And just be and feel confident there because everything's taken care of. And then of course we want to create a legacy. That's the L of the calm. Create legacy. And legacy means something different to everyone, right? I talk to a lot of women who are what I call solo. They're not married, they don't have kids. It's just them. Well, their legacy is going to be different than someone who has a family, has kids or grandkids, or taking care of their parents or doing different things. And so you have to define what the legacy is going to be for you, right? And then the M is money and mindset mastery, because we have to master our mindset so that we can master our money, because the money comes after our mindset gets right. The money comes after we've decided that no matter what, no matter how, I'm going to feel good, I'm going to act good, I'm going to do all the things no matter what the reality is, because I know that I'm going to hold, I'm going to have these things. I'm going to walk in abundance. I'm going to talk in abundance. I'm not going to speak negatively against myself because I know that I've set a vision for myself. And that's creating the money and the mindset mastery, right? And so those are things that we really, really, as we are going through transition, or what I call a place of transition in our finances, is that we really want to take hold of what those thoughts are, right? What were the thoughts that you heard growing up as a kid? What were the mindset things? Did you hear a lot of, we can't afford that, or you can't do that, or money doesn't grow on trees? Or did you get a lot of no's for trips and school trips and different things? Or did you get denied going to college because your family couldn't afford it, and maybe you went to community college, or you went off to the military, or you did something different, or you got a job? And none of those things are bad, because everybody's path is not the same. But did you get messages as you were growing up that there wasn't enough? Or did you get to the dinner table and wonder why we're having this, and your friends come to school talking about what they had, and you're trying to figure out why you weren't having the steaks and the lobsters and the shrimp and all the high end stuff, but you were just having spaghetti, right? Or chili. And I'm not knocking those things. They're great meals, but sometimes they're really easy meals to go to when you're on a budget. I know I consider those my struggle meals. It was a time that all I ate was spaghetti and chili, but it didn't make it bad. It just meant that was what was in my budget. That was a part of my process of growing and becoming. And so we have to learn to not despise where we are, because where we are is building up the resilience and the strength that we need to go where we're going. So I'm going to share a few points from today, but those are some things that were on my heart to share with you today when I decided that right now is the time to go live. But I'm going to come before you each day, just because it just makes sense to share more on money and mastery with you every day, because as the world is changing, you really need this information, right? There was an article that came out last week, and this message is specifically for my federal government people who are in transition, or have been transitioned, or you received your notice or accepted the notice, or you're in the place of maybe receiving the offer and don't know what to do. When you reach out to a financial professional, because I hope that you do, especially if you have a TSP or you have a lot of things tied up in your retirement plans and things like that, you want to be very selective and thoughtful about it, because in the financial industry, as things are transitioning and turning over, there are places that are legitimate financial businesses, but they're putting people in things that may be more risky than they need to be going into right now, right? Things that aren't protecting your base. And right now is the time that if you have what they call a retirement plan at a previous job that you no longer work at, or you're transitioning from the previous federal service and you have another job to go to, thankfully, then it's time to move in a direction where you're putting those things in places where your baseline is protected. where you don't have a loss of what you've put in. So if you're transitioning over, and I'm just throwing out numbers, 500,000 from your TSP, you don't want to go below 500,000. You don't want to put it in a vehicle that's going to put your base at risk, because inflation is going to be impacted by some of the changes with the tariffs that are coming through. It's all going to be impacted, at least initially, until it levels out. So be mindful that you want something that's going to protect your original investment. It can have upside, what we call upside potential in the industry, but you want downside protection. And there are only a few different vehicles that will do that for you. And don't get me wrong, if you have a bunch of asset classes and things like that, then maybe you do want to have some at risk, a small percentage. A good rule of thumb is, it's called the rule of 100. Take your age and subtract it from 100. And that's about how much you want to put at risk. And for those many people who watch me are in my age range. So if you're 40s, 50s, and you subtract that from 100, you don't want more than 50% of your hard-earned money going to a high level of risk. And if you have a low risk tolerance, then raise it up. Then maybe you only put 10 or 20% at risk. But you want to be mindful. There is going to be a huge transfer of wealth, because so many of you have taking the package. And I don't want to use negative words, because this could be a big blessing in your life if you seize opportunity, right? It's going to be some change, but we don't know if it's good or bad, because we don't know what the next couple of years are going to bring in each one of your lives. Be mindful that while I go live and I do videos and I'm talking about finance and I'm giving you financial information, it's not advice specifically tailored to you. I think that we make a big mistake from time to time where we watch a video or we see a show or we read a book and we apply it to our lives without getting a full consultation on what our total picture is. And just because it sounds similar, it looks similar to what your situation is, it doesn't necessarily mean it's specific advice to you. Now, everybody's going to do their own thing, and I'm cool with that. But make sure that you're covering your bases, and know that even as much as I can give you on video, I'm never going to be able to give you everything I know about finance in one video. And no one's going to be able to do it. They're not going to be able to get everything in a book that they know about it, or a free download, or this or that. But if you want to talk about it with someone, have someone look at your numbers. And don't be afraid to share your numbers, because you have to share your numbers for someone to be able to give you a full assessment, to give you a reasonable recommendation, right? Think about it like this. You wouldn't go to the doctor and tell them about your symptoms without allowing them to ask you questions about what is actually going on. Ask you your height, your weight, any previous medical history. Do you have a history of this, and that? And so think about a financial questionnaire in that sense, where we need to know what's going on under the hood. We need to be able to do a full assessment before a recommendation is made. So anyway, I'll get off of that. But again, if you know someone who's federal, they're impacted, feel free to share this video with them. Feel free to share my information with them, because we are, myself and my colleagues within my brokerage, we are looking to help and serve as many of you as possible, because we want to put you in a place to protect the money you do have, to protect the money in your TSP, to protect the money that you've worked so hard to build up, so that you can go into this next chapter in a different space. So here's a couple of cool things today that my colleagues share, and that I'm going to be sharing over time. We had a full day of the Women of Excellence from 10 to 2 p.m. today, but I want to make sure that I lay out some things for you to think about as you go forward, right? Right now, we could be considered in a place of a financial crisis, or as I like to say, chaos. And that's if we go about it in an emotional state, not logically looking at it and really sifting through all the muck to decide what's for us. We have to sift through that financial chaos, or the financial crisis that could be happening. And if nothing has happened, if you're okay, be sure to give thanks. And then put yourself in a place to look at your finances, because maybe this is the wake-up call. This is the wake-up call for all of us, for everyone, to get a plan to get out of debt, to get a plan to learn how to invest, to get a plan to learn how to be strategic and earn an additional income, to not just set yourself up for the future, but to protect your future income stream. This is the time to learn how to put things in place to protect your income if you can no longer earn it. And so having that, right? There's some solutions. There are things that you can do. And then there's opportunities that you can take advantage of that will be coming to you in multiple ways in multiple places. So now should be the wake-up call for you to understand that you need to prepare for life's financial events. You need to be prepared because nobody, even the people who agreed with the people elected and said, hey, we want to bring them in, nobody understand how everyone would be impacted, right? Some of the things that we have to think about as far as our finances, we have these particular crises. We got to look at what's going on with our retirement because we're living well, but are we going to be able to live well when we're 80 or when we decide to stop working or we no longer can work? Are we going to be there? Especially for my women, right? Especially because 81% of Black women cite the cost of housing is eating away at their future retirement because we pay so much to live. We have a current gap in our income of over 60% between us and the masses of our male counterparts. They're making more than us. We take time off of work. We're losing dollars because we're taking care of families. We have to get prepared for these life events. And I'm not even talking about after we're not here, but just preparing for things that could happen and making sure that we're covered, right? The big thing I want to talk about today, and I want to be back on again tomorrow, is, negative effective interest. How many of you understand what negative effective interest is and how negative effective interest is impacting you, right? And here's the deal. Negative effective interest is essentially the interest that we pay on our debt. And many people think they don't have debt because they call it a bill, but there's a huge difference between a bill and a debt. A bill can be paid off in 30 days. A debt takes time. Many of our credit cards are supposed to be bills, meaning we're supposed to pay it off at the end of the month, but we don't. And we create it as a debt. And once we allow it to be a debt and try to pay it over time, what we've now activated is the negative effective interest on that debt. And that really is that interest rate that they charge you that gets taken out of your minimum payment every month, which could be 60 plus percent, 30%, 40%, 77% of the amount that we pay, but we don't know it because we think I'm just going to make the minimum payment. Those minimum payments are eating away at our future because we're paying so much interest to the banks and to the corporations to borrow money that we thought we had, right? Because mentally we thought we had it. And now we don't have it. So we're making smaller payments and that interest is eating away at our future lifestyle. It's eating our lifestyle away. We're giving away in the form of interest and we're not even getting any products and services for it. So that's one of the key things. The other thing is we got to get out of debt. And I know you probably heard this before. And the thing is that getting out of debt smart. There's a way to get out of debt without decreasing your lifestyle. We're setting things up where we're redirecting money that you already have to do 2 jobs. And we want you to accumulate additional wealth for the future. And so, because we want you to become debt free, and I want you to have a secure retirement, because I'll train you and I'll show you how to do that, but you got to get into the room. On Monday, I'm going to be dropping some links to join me for a masterclass for about 90 minutes. It's going to be on April 22nd at 7 p.m. And I'm going to drop that link on Monday. But you want to get in the room and you want to bring your bills. You want to bring those things so that we can start to put together a blueprint for you to get out of debt, to increase your retirement, and to move yourself towards a place of control and calm with your finances so that you're prepared and your mindset is good, because nothing can shake you. No changes can shake you. But it will take time, and you got to start now. We can't keep waiting because all these emergencies, and I use the bunny ears on purpose, come up and we don't know how to shift and we don't know how to change. So that's all I have for you today. I will be back tomorrow. I don't know what time tomorrow, but I will go live again tomorrow. I have a private masterclass set up tomorrow at 6 p.m. with about 40 to 50 ladies. And I would invite you, but it's private, so you can't come. But the public one will be April 22nd. And that's where you want to be sure to get in the room, get the information. You'll have full access to me to ask your individual questions at some point, but you have to take advantage of the resources that are going to be made available to you and do the right thing. And then if you say, hey, you know what, Saran, I can't come to your masterclass, but I know a group of people that I can bring you in front of that so that we can talk about it. Let's do it, because the more people who get the message, who get the plan, who are able to move forward, can do it. And again, I want to just remind you, especially my federal employees, please, please, please do your due diligence. If it sounds, a little aggressive and they don't tell you that you could potentially lose your money, if there's no downside protection, that might not be the place to move your money right now, because the market is going crazy. There's nothing wrong with investing because the market's on sale. If you got money and you got cash and you know how to invest, now's the time to probably get in and buy things on sale. But if you're just trying to survive, now is not the time to get into the market. You don't go into the market with money you need to pay bills, because that's where the horror stories come from. So anyway, it's your girl Saran. I'll be back again tomorrow because we're going to do Financial Mastery Month every day. But I'll be here. If you have questions, pop them in the chat. You can DM me or you can text me if you have my number. But again, it's your girl Saran. Peace, love, and light. Let's get your money right. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.